are you from, Joseph?
South Shields.
I thought.
Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
But let me be clear.
I enjoy cooking bacon and stuff, working with flour.
This is Your Welcome America, the podcast that explains what the bloody hell Brits are banging on about.
In every episode, we translate British pop culture for America.
And American pop culture for Britain.
You're welcome.
Hi, babes.
Hi. Have we ever explained why we call each other babes?
I don't think we have. Why do we?
Well,
I don't remember.
Remember in that fantastic season of Big Brother, and it had that posh older lady whose name I can't remember.
Susie.
And all of them, for some reason, that season in the house, it was like 2007 maybe.
Yeah.
They all called each other babes, and it just all caught on amongst each other. And then even Susie, who was really posh, was like, "Oh, hello, babes."
That was the season with Grace.
Oh.
Where she threw the water in Susie's face as she got evicted and said, sorry. Another thing that's entered our friendship vocabulary over the years.
Which via CLC.
Anyway.
So that's a wonderful side note. Here we are. I mean, it has been a hell of a whirlwind.
Since Dens.
We should tell everyone that we got some press.
Oh yeah. Boy, did we get some press.
chroniclelive.co.uk did an article on us. The headline is, Denise Welsh helped share Geordie culture with Americans on entertaining Your Welcome America podcast. So just go to chroniclelive.co.uk. Check it out. Very pleased
Famous.
about that.
I'm very happy with that bit of press.
What's been going with you?
I am incredibly hungover today. I went to a night last night called Britney Houston, which was solely the music of Britney and Whitney Houston.
Ideal.
I got very carried away with myself. I drank too much because the music was too intoxicating. I definitely remember screaming out Queen of the Night, and definitely remember screaming $1 Million Bill. And yeah, my favorite moment of the night was when they played The Hookup, and I pointed out her Caribbean accent to Teddy and Jeremy, and they were like shocked and appalled.
Is that on your Back to the Islands playlist?
It is. Yeah, I have to say I have a Back to the Islands playlist, which is all mildly offensive pop songs over the years that have like a Caribbean flavor.
For example, the Saturdays What About Us?
Yeah.
Oh, we are waiting.
A good example of another song on the Back to the Islands playlist is Stars Are Blind by Paris Hilton, which has a real light reggae theme to it. All white people. I don't know what we're talking about.
This is when you ask what I've been up to. This is how conversations work, Fraser. Like, you finish talking about yourself, and then you're just silent because you don't know what to do next.
Gosh, so I guess, yeah, weather we're having, eh? What have you been doing? What's going on with you?
Well, so last night you've met my neighbor Brenda. Actually, Brenda got a shout out from Denise.
She did.
From the Denster.
She was driving a caravan.
She was driving her caravan, was struggling on our hill. So you've met our neighbor Brenda, who lives across the street. She's a wonderful creature of this earth. She was at the wedding the other week.
Yes, she was.
Just going around telling everyone her life story, and it's quite a story.
Oh, she did it in like a rapid fire. We said goodbye to her on the doorstep, and she turned around and gave us her life story in like 30 seconds flat and just ran off into the night. It was
wonderful.
Amazing.
She's fantastic.
We were like, come back, we have so many questions.
So we went over to the house on Friday night, and they had put on a full-on party in their back garden, which is bizarrely massive. They had a Cuban band in, which they brought in from Canada. They had taco truck, they had it all going on. It was just really magical, wonderful. And they invited just everyone and anyone. You would ask someone like, oh, how do you know Bill and Brenda? And it was either we grew up together, or it was, oh, I work at the local coffee shop, and they said we should just come. It was just like everyone was there. And then there was a moment where Jessie went to the bathroom and came back and said, there are people putting costumes and makeup on. We have to stay. I'm like, okay. So then they've got this bridge in their garden, which connects the house to the upper bit of the garden. I know. Side note, someone's got married on that bridge before. So we were sitting, and Brenda sort of ushered everyone to the side. The Cuban band stopped. And then all these performers in full sort of, I don't even know the right words, but ancient costumes from Mexico came out and did a full-on performance for us with drums and fire and everything. I mean, I don't know. We were either blessed or cursed, maybe both. I may have done ayahuasca. I'm not sure. But she just casually said afterwards, "Oh yeah, they're just some performers that I brought in from Mexico City."
Oh, of course.
She just threw this together. So that was Friday night.
I have to say, actually, in her rapid fire goodbye at your wedding, she did offer for me to get married in that garden.
Oh, there you go.
So,
With the bridge.
The bridge.
Just got that
so,
bridge.
Yeah, so that's probably going to happen.
Anyway, we should probably do some feedback. Right, okay, so we obviously had a lot of people getting in touch with the Loose Women special.
Oh, yeah.
And quite rightly so. First of all, actually, Jessie asked us, we were so starstruck with Denise, we forgot to work out who is the US equivalent of Denise Welsh.
Oh, yeah.
And we've been struggling with this. Because she's sort of, you said Joy Behar.
Yeah. I actually think, because Denise mentioned it herself, that the talk is a bit more of their equivalent, and it doesn't make any sense because I think her equivalent is Sharon Osbourne on the talk, but Sharon Osbourne isn't American.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that really counts.
And also, Sharon's not an actor or been in soaps. It's just not quite right. I don't know. So anyway, we need everyone's help out there. Now that you've all met via the podcast, Denise Welsh, who is the US equivalent of Denise Welsh?
Yeah,
we
let
need
us
help with
know.
that. Okay, so Phoebe in the UK asked us, do classic English phrases Denise was using, like "in a pickle," translate? It's like, "Oh, I'm in a pickle." Do we know? Actually, wait, Jessie, if I said to you, "Oh, I'm in a pickle," would you know what that means? In a bind.
In a bind.
We got the US translation right there and then. Thank you.
Thanks, Jessie.
Thank you.
That is a US saying here as well.
Oh, it is.
Okay.
Okay, well, so to answer your question, Phoebe, yes, those translations those phrases exist here. Okay, so Gandhi the Great on Instagram, we posted a picture of the very mug that Denise Welsh had a coffee supped from. In fact, when she came in, I asked her, would you like something to drink? And she just said, "Oh, I'd love a coffee, but nothing fancy, a Nescafe will do." Love that. So we had a mug of her that she drank out of with her lipstick on it. And Gandhi the Great commented in the picture, "I want that mug. What a lush cuppa that would make."
Oh, lush cuppa.
Disco Drive-Thru asked us, now we talked about with Denise her time on Biker Grove. Disco Drive-Thru asked, what's the American equivalent of Spuggy from Biker Grove?
Oh, gosh.
Do you remember Spuggy?
Not really.
Spuggy was female.
Yes, because she was friends with Frazer.
Oh,
Frazer.
I've got a couple of thoughts.
Go for it.
My first thought was Drake. Who's Canadian.
Degrassi.
From Degrassi.
Yep.
Didn't quite work. And then I thought, what about Punky Brewster?
Oh, yeah, Soleil Moon Fry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though Spuggy wasn't the star of Biker Grove, she was, and that was more of an ensemble cast, it feels like she's a bit of a Punky Brewster.
Yeah, she's still the breakout star.
Exactly. So that's that. Shout out to Jamie, who just randomly got in touch to tell us he once served mussels to Nadia Sawala in his local gastropub.
Who's this?
Jamie in LA. Camille in New Zealand said, "Who is Billy and how does Chrissy Teigen follow him?" That's a question for Billy.
What?
Yeah. I'm guessing that the unofficial celeb booker of You're Welcome America, Billy, once worked with Chrissy Teigen and Chrissy was taken with him.
Wow. Well, speaking of booking, Billy, Chrissy Teigen, please.
Yeah, get on it. Just message her because she follows you.
Yeah.
Andrew on Instagram said that he's 3 episodes into the podcast, but he's already forced 4 others to listen.
Oh, great.
So, and that's actually what we want.
Yeah, please. Force everyone you know to listen to this. We need more and more listeners to hear this beautiful stuff that we're talking.
Just force it down their throats. I think that's pretty much all our feedback.
You're missing one piece of feedback. Thank you very much.
Oh.
On our Instagram, we posted our pictures of us and Dens. And Carter C. Kid on Instagram said in capital letters, "Fanny flutter, #Frazer, #not even kidding." So I'm giving him some fanny flutters. So you're welcome.
Right, should we get on with the show?
Yeah. And we're back. in every episode, we have a topic each, and we work out the US and UK equivalents of it. And Ben is first. What's your topic, babes?
Well, we've got Thanksgiving coming up, so I'm going to do the very US topic that is Thanksgiving.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, we need to do a bit of like history.
Do we for Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I know. Well, this is the problem. I genuinely don't fully know any of it, and then I reread it, and it was very confusing. But here it is. Okay, Americans, get angry. I'm going to butcher your history, much like you butchered the Native Americans. So, Thanksgiving is a national holiday in the US. There are other Thanksgivings around the world, but, this is your welcome, America. This year, it is happening on Thursday, November 28th. It always happens on the final Thursday of November, I believe it is.
Okay.
Okay, now, I've been trying to get to grips with the history.
Okay.
So, okay, just brace yourselves.
I'm braced.
Everyone. Okay, so there were people on a boat coming from England looking for a new life, and apparently they didn't have a good boat trip.
The Mayflower.
The Mayflower. They were leaving from Plymouth.
Oh.
Yeah. And in England.
Yep.
And they traveled across the seas. It was a bit of a rough journey,
Yeah, it's going to be.
And then what happened was, this is in 1620.
They hit an iceberg.
And there was a song sung by Celine, and there was the heart of the ocean. So, anyway, the Mayflower left Plymouth in England. There were about 102 passengers, blah, blah, blah. It was 1620. They had a rough time getting over, and then they finally made it over to Massachusetts Bay.
Yep.
And they began establishing another village called Plymouth. Anyway, they had a rough winter, okay?
Yeah.
The crops didn't do well. And when it came to harvest the next year, they were like, shit, we're not going to be able to eat much. But they kind of had made friends with some Native Americans. And the Native Americans kind of gave over their crops as like a sort of big shared meal. Wow. And it was all lovely. And that apparently started 50 years of very cordial like get-togethers.
Okay, lovely.
Which didn't continue. But that's what it originally came from.
And my knowledge of Thanksgiving and the origins of it is purely from the Addams Family. When they go to the summer camp, and is that what they do in that?
I'm glad you said that, because I'm going to play this clip.
Wait. What? We cannot break bread with you.
Huh? Becky, what's going on?
Wednesday! You have taken the land which is rightfully ours. Years from now, my people will be forced to live in mobile homes, on reservations. Your people will wear cardigans and drink highballs. We will sell our bracelets by the roadsides. You will play golf and enjoy hot hors d'oeuvres. My people will have pain and degradation. Your people will have stick shifts. The gods of my tribe have spoken. They have said, do not trust the pilgrims, especially Sarah Miller.
Gary, she's changing the words.
And for all these reasons, I've decided to scalp you and burn your village to the ground.
Happy Thanksgiving. So
I forgot Christine Baranski was in that movie.
Such a good movie. So yeah, that's my main knowledge of Thanksgiving as well. And any Americans out there who want to get in and just, add any other sort of fun tweaks or corrections, go for it. So that is Thanksgiving. It happens every year. I obviously wanted to, now that we've talked about the history, we've talked about one of the most important movies of all time, I want to talk about the food.
Oh yeah, please do.
Because this is important.
Okay.
So, Thanksgiving menu. It varies. I actually Googled it and I found this picture, which we will put on our Instagram.
Oh God, that picture's horrible.
Can you just describe to that picture to the listeners, Fraser?
Okay, well, this looks like it was taken on a disposable camera. First of all, there's a lovely cranberry candle, I think, that's probably burning at that table. Some fine drapery behind it. So what I'm seeing here is a turkey, and then maybe 4 or 5 bowls of unidentified slop, and then some kind of punch, and a lovely cornucopia of fruit.
Yeah, a lot of wooden furniture that wouldn't have been out of place in my kitchen growing up in the 90s.
Yes, yeah, this whole picture looks like it was in the 90s.
Yeah. So essentially for Thanksgiving, you would, with your family, you would get together, you'll have a turkey.
Yep.
Turkey's super important. There usually is some sort of cranberry-based sauce or something.
Yeah.
Now, there might be a yam dish. Now, I've tried to Google the difference between yam and sweet potato. It's very confusing. I'm not going to get into it. But yam or sweet potatoes often feature.
Yep.
Yeah, I think those are the main things. Let me just double check my
Isn't
notes.
there green bean casserole?
Oh, yeah, they love a green bean.
But what is a green bean casserole?
It's just lots of kind of like green, I don't know.
Jesse?
I think he's putting his headphones, or
he's ignoring
has divorced me.
Oh, Jesse.
What's a green bean casserole?
Casserole is a dish that's like a baked hot dish, green beans. And I think it has cheese, cream, and I think has breadcrumbs on top.
Okay. So I feel like we were saying you often have a green bean casserole at Thanksgiving.
Green beans in some form.
Okay, green beans in some
green
form.
beans in some form.
Great, thanks, American.
Thanks, Jesse.
Thanks, Jesse.
Closing the door on us.
Now, here's what's most interesting about this. Because turkey is served, that then means that at Christmas here in the US, no one serves turkey.
Yeah, because they're done.
All done. Whereas in the UK, you had 100% of turkey.
Yeah.
So there's a big difference there. At the meal, you'll go, I mean, this is truly American. You go around and you show emotion by giving thanks.
Oh, gosh.
And you thank for, you give thanks for something that's happened that year or whatever. Now, as I've learned in the past, do not make a joke out of that.
Right.
It's not a time to be funny. You can be funny if you then, throw in something deeply emotional and personal, but it's not a time for joking.
Well, actually, we have done it.
Well, yeah,
So-
we have experienced
Yeah.
Thanksgiving before we moved to the US many times
Yes.
together.
Yeah. So our friend and
The nemesis of the podcast, Michael.
our podcast nemesis Michael, he used to throw a Thanksgiving kind of dinner every year, and it was called Thanks Michael.
It became Thanks Michael because he would get into such a tiz. Don't know if that's a US word,
Yep.
but such a tiz about it that we changed it to Thanks Michael. And he would not always host it, thank you very much. We rotated
of
houses, but he just, became the center of
Yes.
attention.
I just remember when we did the giving of thanks in that we were allowed to be a little facetious. I remember mine being facetious. Mine was
okay.
about like a song that had been released that year.
What song? I wonder what song it was.
I think it was like Fight for This Love, maybe. I don't know.
Well, 10 years on, I'm still giving thanks for that. So yeah, you do give thanks. And one other thing we should say about Thanksgiving is that it is the official start of the holiday season.
Okay.
Thanksgiving. So in the UK, you might say, where are you going on your holidays? That's a vacation. Where in the US, the holidays are the kind of festive season from Thanksgiving onwards.
Yes.
So-
And that includes Jewish holidays as well, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What are you doing for Thanksgiving this year?
So CLC and my friend Nina are coming to LA. So I am going to be hosting a Thanksgiving dinner in your house while you're not here.
In the Your Welcome America studio. What I'm most excited about is now that we have the Nest cameras
Yep.
installed, is just spying on you and every now and again just shouting through them.
Well, you've done that to me when I've looked after your house before, and it was terrifying when you pretended to be the voice of that little girl from Resident Evil.
You're going to die in here. It's just fun. That's just fun for me.
And you're going to Palm Springs, right?
Yes. So we go with Jesse's family to Palm Springs, subject of an earlier podcast.
Oh, yeah. Please
episode.
listen.
And we do a big Thanksgiving there. We'll do a big meal. I think there's 17 of us. One thing that's become one of our traditions, and it happens in a few places in the US, is we do a turkey trot.
Okay.
Have we spoken about
you talked
this?
about the turkey trot on the Palm Springs episode, I think.
So we get up in the morning on Thanksgiving morning and we all sign up for this race, and you have you wear turkey hats and you run a 5K.
Okay.
And it's really wonderful. And it's my favorite part of it is Jesse's surname is Trentadue, 32
Yep.
in Italian. And there's a really wonderful old lady with amazing hair who's the announcer at the finish line. And she's like, "Well done, Ben Anderson. Congratulations, Jesse Trent Ducks." It's just really great. And there's so many Trentadues running the race
Trent-a-ducks.
yeah, that's great.
This is unrelated but kind of related. Have you ever watched the clip of Christina Aguilera on Star Search when she was a child? Because if you watch it, the guy that hosts it He butchers her surname every single time he says it. He's literally like, by the end, he's like, and thank you to Crastino Anglangendo. It's really funny. Just a little recommendation for you.
So yeah, that's one of our Thanksgiving traditions. The other one that I've actually brought on board as a British person is that it's like a big feast that you all put together.
Yeah.
I always serve up smoked salmon on bread with like bread with butter, smoked salmon, lemon, and black pepper. The easiest thing in the world to make. But trust me, you make that, the Americans go crazy. And now it's like, Ben, you're going to do your fish. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll slave over it again. Wonderful.
Plopping it on top of some bread.
Exactly. Just buttering some bread and just serving a bit of fish. Done. So those are our that's what we'll be doing this year. Yeah, we did mention we've spent a few Thanksgivings before back in London.
Yeah.
Those were some messy times.
Yeah, they were.
I do remember us having a giant Thanksgiving meal, massive, getting very drunk, going out, dancing at the Joiners, R.I.P.
Oh.
And then about 2 or 3 in the morning, I came back and I ate it all again, like another huge meal.
Oh my God, the Joiners! I've got a distinct memory of you doing a very sexy dance to Queen of the Night by Whitney Houston on the pool table in the Joiners. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, a lot of slapping down onto the pool table. You're welcome.
Oh my God, I loved the Joiners.
I know.
Oh, when I used to smoke and I used to stand at the back just puffing on cigarettes.
And I always thought the US equivalent of the Joiners in New York was Sugarland, for any New York people out there. Sugarland or Metropolitan were both very Joiners-esque.
Okay.
Another Thanksgiving I once spent in Arizona with friends of the podcast, George.
Oh, yes.
With his family. And what they do every year for Thanksgiving, because they have about 60 people there, whatever, they do a scavenger hunt.
Oh my God.
A very highly elaborate scavenger hunt around Phoenix.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So they like, someone spent ages working out all these things and going around and planting all these extra clues and everything. So you get split up into like there are 4 or 5 teams. You have your first clue and then you all race off in cars.
That's amazing.
It's really fun. I was obviously a little nervous about it. I'd never met the family before. I had never been to Phoenix before. My team won. I was very pleased with myself. I just remember the final bit of it was you had to race. Once you got back to the house, you had to unwrap a gift. And inside the gift was a jigsaw puzzle, and you had to assemble the jigsaw puzzle.
God. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Oh.
I won a woolly hat that's got turkeys on it that I still wear to this day.
Well, George needs to start organising some scavenger hunts for us. That sounds really fun.
That would be really fun.
Actually, I've got a question for you. I think this is something that comes up a lot, but there's no Thanksgiving songs. There's no Thanksgiving music, right?
No.
There really should be.
That's really weird.
It's so weird that there's so many Christmas songs and then there's not one. And like Halloween, just beforehand, like everything is so themed. But why is there not a... Should I have a quick look and see if there's a...
Well, it's also like up until a few years ago, there weren't really any 4th of July songs. And then Katy Perry came along with Firework, and then obviously you've got your 4th of July song as well.
Have I ever told you about the time that I met CLC in a pub and she'd been to see fireworks? And I was at the bar buying us drinks. And
wait, we should explain. When you say seen fireworks, she went to Bonfire Night.
Yes, which has just happened.
Yeah, remember the 5th of November. It's when Guy Fawkes was trying to burn down the Houses of Parliament. So every year now in the UK, I was explaining this the other day to some Americans, and it's pretty fucking weird. Every year in the UK, you go to like a bonfire night where there's a bonfire and they have fireworks. Now, at the bonfire, there might be a human effigy, a guy, as it were, named after Guy Fawkes, and they burn it. But in recent years, celebrities have been burned. For example, this year, Boris Johnson was burned.
Wow.
Fine. When I worked on Jonathan Ross in 2009, and there was a whole scandal with him, people were burning effigies of Jonathan Ross at bonfires.
Well, I was at the bar and I saw Charlie was Instagramming some footage of fireworks, and I saw that she'd captioned it, "Baby, you're a firework." And I called her out on it, and she was devastated that I found out her secret.
Do you know I had my very first kiss at a fireworks night?
Did you?
In our school year, we had 2 Katie Robinsons, small Katie Robinson and tall Katie Robinson. One was IE, one was Y.
I'm assuming yours was with small Katie Robinson.
It was
right?
with tall.
Oh, twist.
It was behind a truck at fireworks night. I had to stand on the curb. It was my first snog. Translation, French kiss.
Oh, mine was with my friend Lydia.
Oh.
I don't know why we did it. We kissed at a party, and then we were both like, "Oh, that was weird."
Oh.
So yeah, she was my first kiss. So there's a song that I've just found here that's called "Almost Thanksgiving Day," I'm just going to get a little taste of it.
There's a real twang in this.
Let's just get some lyrics. All right, hang on.
Ooh, this is horrible.
This is ghastly. Yeah, we need a pop star to do a Thanksgiving song.
A Moment Like This by Kelly Clarkson. Hang on. I don't think I'm on the right list. So, yeah.
Moment
like this.
Oh my God, I love that song.
Some people wait like
UK equivalent Leona Lewis covering A Moment Like This.
If I ever told you that I've been to... So, Leona Lewis's now husband, I think he's Dutch, and he's a Barry's boot camp instructor.
Oh, really?
And he kind of looks like if someone was doing a comedy where someone was playing a Euro DJ.
Right.
That's what he looks like.
Got it.
A lot of like very obvious tats and then bleach blonde hair and yeah.
I'd love to hear Leona and Kelly Clarkson do a duet of A Moment Like This. That would be great.
Maybe if Leona ever does anything relevant again, she might get booked in the Kelly Clarkson daytime talk show and they could do a duet at the beginning.
Well, you're welcome, Kelly Clarkson show, for that great suggestion.
Yeah, there you go. That's at least one day sorted out of the 365 shows that you have to make every year. So I think that's pretty much it for Thanksgiving. I think what is particularly nice about it is that there are no gifts.
Yeah.
So it's just food and family and hanging out and time off work, and that's pretty much it. So that brings me to what is the UK equivalent of Thanksgiving. So initially, I was actually going to say, weirdly, Easter.
Okay.
Because at Easter, we have time off work in the UK, which you don't have in the US. And you get together family and have like a big meal that's very specific. And there's, with Easter eggs and chocolate eggs and stuff. It's all very specific. But now that we've talked about bonfire night, I wonder if it is bonfire night in the UK. What do you think?
I think Easter's better because of the food.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Bonfire night is too... Bonfire night is like our 4th of July. Even though it doesn't mean any of the same things.
That's true.
You do a lot of similar things on bonfire night.
It's very UK in the sense that it's cold.
It's freezing cold.
And you're burning, there's an angry tone to it.
Yeah,
you're literally burning an effigy of a person.
So yeah, I think you're right. Actually, I think Easter is probably a good comparison because it's so close to Christmas anyway that it kind of Christmas is still too much its own thing, and the gifts and everything else. With Easter, you don't really give gifts. So yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
Okay, well, the UK equivalent of Thanksgiving is Easter. You're welcome.
I also want to say, Ben, I'm thankful for you.
Oh, that's okay. I'm thankful for you and this podcast and us getting to do this.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, the UK listeners will hate this. And we are back. Before the break there, you heard me emotionally break down when Frazer paid me a lovely tribute. So, we've been talking about Thanksgiving, and every episode we do an American topic and a British topic. We've done the American topic. Frazer, what's your British topic for us?
Well, my British topic ties in nicely with Thanksgiving because you've got to buy all that food from somewhere.
Oh, you gotta.
And I tell you where I'm going to get it from this episode. Iceland.
Not the country.
Not the country. Very important to make that distinction for any American listeners. I am not discussing the country of Iceland. I'm talking about the beautiful UK supermarket, Iceland. So let me give you I'll give you, as usual, the Wikipedia description. So Iceland is a British supermarket chain headquartered in Deeside, Wales. It has an emphasis on the sale of frozen food, including prepared meals and vegetables. Also, is worth noting that they do sell other stuff that's not frozen. But, the reason it's called Iceland is because everything is frozen.
Well, that's why mums go to Iceland.
Well, we'll get there. So just a little bit of history on Iceland. The business started in 1970 in Shropshire, England. These two men invested £60 for 1 month's rent at a store. And then the name Iceland was suggested by one of the business partners' wives. This is a fact that I like. They were still employees of Woolworths at the time, and their employment was terminated once they discovered they had a job on the side. And then this is very strange. Iceland initially specialized in loose frozen food. Just loose frozen food flopping around in some freezers.
It's just like a giant like freezer full of like a chicken drumstick, a Brussels sprout, just
rummaging, just scoop up a
a pick and mix,
Yeah, exactly.
a frozen pick and mix.
Exactly. And then the business started growing in 1983, where they kind of started opening other chains around the country. And then kind of, I think by the kind of mid 90s to kind of early 2000s is when things, when it became kind of the huge kind of juggernaut that it has become today. Just before we carry on, I found a great thing on Wikipedia about Iceland. Apparently, the supermarket Iceland has been accused. Apparently, the supermarket Iceland has been accused by the government of the country Iceland of engaging in abusive behavior by trademarking the name of the country. Wow. It says, and harassing Icelandic companies and even the Icelandic Tourism Board.
How are they harassing?
Because they pursued legal action against Icelandic companies which use the name. So, like, basically...
Visit Iceland.
Yeah, exactly. They've been saying that Visit Iceland infringes on Iceland, the supermarket's copyright. So, just to know, Iceland is in an actual dispute with the country of Iceland.
Perfect.
Which I think is just very funny.
Perfect.
So basically, the overall thing is that Iceland is this kind of cheaper supermarket where it does frozen food, and it's all kinds of frozen food. So it's like desserts, which I will get into at some point. The kind of food it does, though, that's kind of famous for is what I like to call beige food. Mm-hmm. And as a child who grew up mostly eating beige food, I do have like a bit of a comfort for it. In fact, when I lived in London, I was moving out of a house with 4 of my friends. And we decided, as like a farewell thing, we called it a beige feast. And we went to Iceland, the Iceland in Clapham Common. And we just bought every single piece of beige food we could and cooked it all. And I just remember the only colour on the plate was the red of the ketchup that we squeezed on there.
Oh, lovely.
I'm talking curly fries. I'm talking chicken nuggets.
Yep.
Potato waffles. I think we got alpha bites.
Love an alpha bite.
Yep.
That reminds me, at university, when we moved out of one of our houses, or maybe like whenever we moved out of like a house or halls of residence, we would take everything out of the freezer and just cook everything.
Yeah, yes.
Just have like a really weird feast.
Fish fingers, fish sticks.
I love a fish finger.
Yeah, so that's the kind of the vibe of the food at Iceland. And actually, I will say that I once living in a flat in London, we did not have an oven. They gave us this weird convection microwave oven. Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of like in between.
Yes, it's called we had them in some halls at university.
Yeah, so it was like not a full-sized oven. It was very much the size of a microwave.
It has a name though, not like a baby belling.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, I'm gonna Google that.
A baby bell is a cheese in my eyes.
Here we are, baby belling. It's like a little mini thing that you could put that at the top, on the top of like a surface.
Yes.
And it's got like a couple of shit electric hobs.
See, ours didn't have any hobs on top. It was literally just the oven. Oh, wow. But you could barely fit anything in it. I once cooked for, I think 4 of us, I cooked a full Christmas dinner in that oven with food solely from Iceland.
Oh.
So it was all like pre-prepared, and it only had one shelf, and I just remember it was me shuffling things in and out, and then basically having to pour gravy on the whole thing because it was
to keep it warm. I think that Iceland also, maybe you're going to go into this, Iceland's also very party foods.
Yes. So the reason that I thought of doing Iceland as a topic this week is we were watching UK Drag Race episode, and there was a comment made by one of the queens. She said, "Oh, I feel like Kerry Katona. Where's my prawn ring?" Something to that effect. Mm-hmm. And Teddy was sitting next to me as an American, and he turned to me and he said, "Who is Kerry Katona and what is a prawn ring?" And I was like, I just remember saying, "I don't have time to explain this to you, Teddy." So now we're going to explain it. So the most famous thing about Iceland is their advertising. Very well known for it. Basically, in the kind of mid-2000s, Kerry Katona became the face of Iceland with the slogan, "That's why mums go to Iceland." Mm-hmm. And basically, so Kerry Katona, we've discussed her on the previous episode, haven't we? So Kerry Katona was in a girl band called Atomic Kitten in the kind of late 90s, early 2000s. She then was on I'm a Celebrity? Is that why she got to Iceland?
She was on I'm a Celebrity. She also had an MTV show called Crazy in Love for a while. And then she had which just followed her and her relationship, which was actually ultimately quite depressing and sad.
Yeah.
And then she had another show on MTV UK, because I was there at the time, called Kerry Katona Whole Again, and it was all about her getting lots of surgery. Because she famously, they had a #1 song with Whole Again.
Yep. So basically, she became the kind of face of Iceland, and she started this kind of run of very cheesy adverts, and the adverts are usually around Christmas time, and it's to advertise the fact that Iceland does a lot of frozen party food. You know, your mini sausage rolls, your mini quiches.
Love a mini quiche.
Yeah, you know, your little bites, little bits and bites.
Yeah, just, well, you're entertaining, and you know what you're gonna do. You just get some stuff out of the freezer,
bung it in the oven,
and then you bring it out and you serve it, and that's why mums go to Iceland.
And then basically, she actually was fired she was dropped as the face in 2009 after some pictures of her allegedly taking cocaine came around. So then other people kind of became the face of Iceland. So we're talking Colleen Nolan, a loose woman.
A loose woman, hi.
Yep. And a former member of the Nolan sisters.
Yep.
Stacey Solomon, an X Factor contestant.
Another loose woman.
Yep. And Jason Donovan, briefly was a face of Iceland. What I'm going to do is, I think they must have brought Kerry back at some point, because I'm just going to play you an advert that features Kerry Katona, Colleen Nolan, and Jason Donovan.
Oh, wow.
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
I really can't stay.
Baby, it's cold outside.
Gotta be on my way.
Baby, it's cold outside.
It looks like you guys will have a ball.
Just take your pick, we got it
I must
all.
say the duck looks delicious.
What a few more treats on his plate.
Guess that I can cancel my date.
Was that my king prawn she ate? A little gâteau, creamy and rich. Let's share. You still want to go?
Looks like I'd freeze out there.
Beef kebabs are hot.
Ah, pepperoni. I like that a lot.
I think they've really hit the spot. The chocolate cakes, pure indulgence. A pleasure that can't be denied. Have a bit on the
I
side.
wouldn't say no.
No need to hold out, baby. It's cold outside.
Okay, I need to read out a few of the things that are being advertised in that.
Please do.
12 sticky chicken skewers for £2. That's like $3.
Lovely.
Like not even $3. There was like mini Black Forest gatos.
Yeah.
You know, just mini ones. Just one you can just pop in your mouth.
One bite.
Oh, one little bite. Also £2. Oh, it was remarkable. Now that made sense. That well, did it? That advert, because Kerry was in Atomic Kitten, Colleen was in the Nolan sisters, and Jason Donovan had a big solo career. Jason Donovan, originally from Neighbours, which we've talked about.
Australian,
but Australian in the UK,
same thing.
Commonwealth. Have I ever told you the time I was at a Christmas party with Jason Donovan?
No, please don't.
So
please tell.
it was. This story takes a real turn. It was Christmas Eve, and I was at my cousin's in the Cotswolds in England, like the countryside part of England, and we're all having Christmas there. And my cousin was like, "Oh, I really want to go to this Christmas party," but her husband Paul didn't want to go, and she's like, "Just will you come with me?" I was like, "Yeah, okay." So we go to this Christmas party at this like lovely country house, and Jason Donovan was there as a guest.
Wow.
So just started chatting to him, and then the house had just been renovated. Christopher Biggins appeared and was
my
like,
God.
Do you want a tour of the house? And I was like, okay. So a crowd of us went on a tour of this house with Christopher Biggins.
How do you explain who Christopher Biggins is?
I mean, he's kind of got the energy of a Richard Simmons.
Yes, you're right.
Like an older, he's openly gay man. Yeah.
Do you know who else I kind of think of with Christopher Biggins?
Who?
You know that very small man called Leslie... Oh, what's he called? The guy that was in Will and Grace and other things.
Who?
Hang on. I need to Google him because I want to say Leslie Jones, and I know that's not who I'm trying to say.
I was going to say Leslie Ash, but it's definitely not Leslie Ash.
Leslie Jordan. Okay, let me show you a picture of him. You'll know exactly who I'm talking about.
He's in Naked Gun or something? No.
No.
Wait. I know
You're thinking
exactly.
of Leslie Nielsen.
Wait, he was in The New Adventures of Superman, Caroline in the City, Reba. He's just Ugly Betty. Okay,
Yeah, he's been in everything.
He has been working.
He's great.
He might be the US equivalent of Denise Welsh. But you know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Like, classic, just worked at moon things. People clearly like him. Well, you know, let us know, listeners. Right, back
why are we talking about Leslie Jordan? I've got really confused. I've got really off topic.
I'm guessing in the year 2019, they no longer have the very old-fashioned slogan, "That's why mums go to Iceland."
Well, funny you say that. Let me play you just a current, well, I'm not sure, this is a little bit old, but this is what their current slogan is at the end of this advert.
Hi, how are you?
You're...
Expecting a delivery?
I don't believe it.
I know. Meal in a bag, paella, cooked straight from Frazer. Amazing.
Amazing.
And authentic Italian pizza, stone baked in the foothills of the Dolomites. Who knew? Do you need me to sign anything?
Oh. Could you make it out to Amy?
Spend £25 in store and get free home delivery. That's why Peter goes to Iceland.
So Peter Andre is now the face of Iceland, and they have changed the slogan to "That's why Peter goes to Iceland."
Oh, wow, because can you believe that, like, a man might buy groceries and do the food shop for
That's crazy.
Whoa.
Also, Peter Andre does not eat a single bite of food from Iceland. Him trying to say about paella in a bag. He doesn't eat that kind of thing.
You made me remember when I was at uni, there was a guy called Damon who I lived in like halls of residence with, and Damon worked in Iceland.
Ooh.
Now, as you may not be surprised to hear, back then and even now, I've never been to an Iceland. So anyway, Damon worked in Iceland, and I remember I had bought some tomatoes, US translation, tomatoes, but not from Iceland, from like Sainsbury's or wherever. And they were like tomatoes on the vine, okay?
Right.
Because those are the good ones. Those are the ones I like.
You're so annoying.
And I remember he took one and had a bite, and he was like, because he was used to the tomatoes from Iceland, he genuinely said to me, "I never knew tomatoes could taste like this."
Do you know what? I hate you so much because of every element of that story. You fucking snob. Why were you buying tomatoes on the vine at university? Ugh.
Because that's what I wanted to eat.
You're so irritating.
What did you buy at uni?
Oh, like, just shit. I used to shop at Asda and buy, like, me and my friend Fran used to share our shopping, and we used to buy, like, frozen pies and eat them with, like, mashed potato to try and, like, whatever. Don't, you keep your snootiness to yourself. I actually knew when I picked Iceland as a topic, I knew that you were going to say that you've never been to an Iceland and you've never eaten food from Iceland. I was like,
Oh, wait, no, I have been to, I have eaten food from Iceland because Michael once bought it.
right.
Like, at a party that we did or something.
Okay.
Because he thought it'd be hilarious.
Oh.
It was fine.
Yeah, I have to say that, I mean, when we did our beige feast, we just bought kind of like French fries, chips, curly fries, all that kind of stuff. It's fine. The party food is a little dicey, I have to say. It is like kind of rank, but the actual other stuff is completely fine.
I'm sure, like, they do a great frozen pea.
Yeah, exactly.
Staples.
Get in there and get your staples.
Yeah, get your frozen staples in there. You're good to go. You need to tell us about a prawn ring, though.
Oh, yeah, God, I've got absolutely... So, yeah, their big product that was a big... Do you know, I couldn't find it. I looked for it on the website. I don't think they sell them anymore. Whoa. But a prawn ring was this disgusting Iceland... So it's frozen... what do they call them here? Shrimps?
Shrimp, yeah.
So it's like a ring of shrimp around... Was it like a cocktail sauce.
Yeah, like a dip.
Like a Mary Rose sauce.
Yeah.
Which is disgusting because you know what that is? It's just ketchup and mayonnaise mixed together.
Yeah.
Quite literally, all of my nightmares rolled into one is a prawn ring. Like, to eat a prawn and then to have to dip it in something with mayonnaise is genuinely one of my worst nightmares.
Do you know that from about the age of, I would say, 7 to 12, do you know what I ate every day for lunch at school?
A prawn cocktail.
Well, they had really shit food in my school, and then overnight, I don't know, someone complained, it went insane, and so they started serving, instead of sandwiches, like croissants. Sorry, Americans, croissants, like croissants, but inside would be sandwich fillings. So the one I would always get would be like prawns with prawn cocktail sauce in a croissant, and I ate that every day for about 5 years.
That is so disgusting. Oh, God.
What? Fuck, that's insane. It's pretty weird.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
Oh, God, a prawn and a croissant, that's really turned my stomach. I'm too hungover to deal with the thought of a prawn croissant right now. So yeah, that was to answer your question, Teddy. A prawn ring was this dish sold at Iceland, and Kerry Katona was the face of Iceland. So that just solves that little problem for you there.
I've got a question.
Go for it.
How is Iceland doing in 2019? Now, the reason I ask is in the UK at the moment, the high street in particular is, I think, more than anywhere else, is like dying. This week, I heard about Pound Stretcher, Maplin, Clinton Cards. I was reading about this morning is having problems.
Clinton's Cards.
Clinton. It said it's just now called Clinton's. But anyway,
really?
That's gone up the wazoo. So yeah, how's Iceland doing?
Well, I've just looked up Iceland and the news, and basically I've got a product recall of some hummus that people shouldn't be eating.
Well, that frozen hummus.
And then the Manchester Evening News has an article called "Iceland unveils its Christmas 2019 food range, and it includes a full turkey dinner and a pie."
Okay, I have found this. Does Iceland supermarket sell cigarettes?
I don't think it does. As an ex-smoker, I don't think I ever bought cigarettes from Iceland.
I don't think they are.
Frozen cigarettes.
Yeah.
So just to give you an update, do you want to hear some of the Christmas 2019 foods?
Oh, yes, please.
There's luxury jumbo red shrimp wrapped in bacon. That looks disgusting.
Wait, what?
Shrimp wrapped in bacon.
No. Surf and turf.
A selection pack which is called 10 chicken noodle sticks and 10 prawn lollipop selection. That's disgusting. It's like prawns on a stick.
Very prawn heavy.
Luxury Canadian whole cooked lobster. I would not. I don't eat seafood, but that makes me feel physically sick. And then this is the crown jewel of this one. It's called a festive pie. It has turkey, pigs in blanket, sprouts, cranberries, smoked bacon, onion, peas, carrots, and stuffing encased in a pie crust. It looks fucking disgusting. So, when I was thinking of this topic earlier in the week, I actually enlisted the help of one of my American co-workers because I was really struggling to find... There's no supermarkets here that I could see that solely, advertise the fact that their stuff is the frozen stuff.
Okay.
So he told me that Tyson brand is a brand that does lots of like frozen chicken and like meal kits and like loads of stuff. And he said that's kind of he said it's not a whole supermarket of it, but it's like they do the like party food and all that kind of stuff.
So it's like a brand that you'd find in other supermarkets.
Yes, exactly.
Now, how are we spelling that, Tyson?
Tyson.
Okay, like Mike. Got it.
Yes, exactly. So the US equivalent of Iceland is Tyson.
We should say the supermarket, not the country.
Yeah, please. The Icelandic Tourism Board, please do not sue us for this.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Okay, we're back. As ever, we round out every episode with a game of welcome or not welcome. We say distinctly American or British things, and we say whether they're welcome or not, i.e. whether we like them or not. Fraser, you're up first.
Okay, my first one is mince pies. Welcome or not welcome?
Oh, not welcome. Mince pies, just for the Americans out there.
Very hard to explain.
Mince,
Yeah.
not minced meat, like minced fruits in this sort of like sweet gravy. Oh,
you're really making it sound a lot worse than
it's disgusting.
Also, they don't even say minced. They don't even say minced beef here. They say ground beef. So you can't even describe what you have to. I was trying to explain it to Ryland, and I was like, first of all, I said mince pie, and then I was like, no, not minced like minced beef, and he was like, what the hell is minced beef? And then I had to explain minced beef, ground beef. Then I got to minced meat, which is actually not the same as minced beef, which is actually minced meat, which is sweet fruit. All in all, I really like mince pies. Welcome from me.
Who's Ryland?
Dare you do this to me? Ryland's my boyfriend.
Not welcome. Not welcome. No. I meant mince pies. Not welcome. Every year in the UK, I'd always be like, okay, do you know what? Maybe this is the year. Maybe I just haven't had a good one. And I'd try one. I'd be like, no. So no mince pies for me. Okay, welcome or not welcome. Describing someone as R. So for example, R. Cheryl, R. Fraser. As this is O-U-R. Like, ooh.
Oh, is this Michael's submission?
I think Michael, podcast Nemesis, may have suggested this.
Yeah, this is a Michael suggestion saying because I think it's very welcome. It's like it's quite a northern thing, isn't it? And like we always used to say for Kimberly from Girls Aloud, we would always be like, "Our Kim."
Yeah,
where she is, our Kim.
It's a real term of endearment, isn't it? Oh yeah,
I love it. Very welcome. Makes me feel warm inside.
Okay, welcome.
Welcome or not welcome. The US spelling of tire. Did you know that they spell tire like a car tire, TIRE, not TYRE. Because I had to write something for work, and I got universally mocked by the room that I work with because I'd spelt tire with a Y.
Oh, I don't think I knew that, and I bought a new tire just yesterday.
Well, there you go. I'm surprised you could find the place because you were probably searching TYRE. So for me, the US spelling, not welcome. Too confusing.
Okay, not welcome, fine. Yeah, you want some distinction in that. Okay, welcome or not welcome. This comes from Aaliyah in Montreal. She said that a friend in Gatwick Airport was ordering a coffee, and they offered her a white coffee, and she didn't know what it was. A white coffee.
What?
Do you know what a white coffee is?
Coffee with milk?
Yeah, it's not a thing here.
Oh, really?
You can't ask for a white coffee.
Oh, well, people think you're racist.
Well, yeah, there's that. But there's also just a white coffee would be like a coffee with cream, but you'd never call it a white coffee here, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that so strange as well that everyone has cream?
Cream. But what is cream here?
It's not cream, though, is it? You're not like putting like
like a dairy cream that you would have with a mince pie.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, because it's not like, what's that brand of cream? Is it Elmi?
Wait, what?
Do you remember? Hang on.
Elm Lee. No, it is Elm Lee.
Elm Lee, yeah. So
Elm Lee.
Elm Lee?
Is it Elm Lee? Hang on. we're just saying noises
Elm
now.
Lee?
Elm Lee. Yeah, Elm Lee cream.
Elm Lee cream. Yeah, because you're not pouring like Elm Lee. I can't say it. You're not pouring that into your coffee.
No, but what is the cream here? If you say like a coffee with cream here, what would you get? Is it a coffee with milk?
Yeah. Well, oh no, but then sometimes it's creamer. What's creamer?
Well, that's just mystery.
And then there's half and half. I don't understand this country sometimes.
Half and half is so confusing because that's half milk, half cream. Wait, what? Wait a minute. What is half and half? Hang on. What is half and half, also known as half cream in the UK? No, it's a simple blend of equal parts whole milk and light cream. That doesn't answer the question.
And what's 2%? And then there's 2%. What's that?
That's
like
milk?
semi-skimmed.
Yeah, I think that's milk with 2% fat.
2% is semi-skimmed.
Oh.
My last one is really weird, and I don't know why I wrote this down. Welcome or not welcome, the Two Brewers. Remember the Two Brewers?
Oh, I think the Two Brewers is welcome.
The Two Brewers is my favourite gay bar back in London, in Clapham Common. It is one of the worst venues ever, but you will have the best time of your life in there.
You're guaranteed some good music in there.
Oh, they play the best music. The best thing about the Two Brewers is the DJ will not take requests. And my friend Caroline once went and tried to request a song, and he just told her to fuck off.
That's right. They once when we were there, that front room was like R&B night.
Ooh.
And we asked for, I think, Sierra or Aaliyah or something like, and they said that's not R&B. And then they proceeded to play something like ABBA. And we're like, what? It was very confusing.
And I will say about the Two Brewers is guaranteed you will see 4 people fall over a night, maybe more. It's the kind of place where people will literally get full down drunk, and they do. I also once took CLC there when she was she'd had a bad day and she needed cheering up. And there was a drag act, and it was this drag queen that performed a medley of songs, dressed as a nun, performed a medley of songs from Sister Act and The Sound of Music. And Charlie said that all she needed in life to feel happy was a drag queen singing those songs.
Perfect. Well, you've got that costume, you may as well do both movies.
Exactly. So very welcome. And I missed the Two Brewers.
Okay, I'm saying welcome. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Welcome or not welcome, the shop, Oliver Bonus.
Oliver Bonus.
Oliver Bonus. Now, describe to our listeners.
My friend Leah calls it Oliver Bonas.
Oh, well, I think that's...
It's technically correct.
That's technically correct because that's what a shopper at Oliver Bonus / Bonas would like to think it was called.
So I describe Oliver Bonus as a shop full of trinkets and bullshit that I cannot stand. You know how I feel about a trinkety shop. I can't abide a shop with tiny little knickknacks and bits.
I'm just gonna go. You might go in and get like a nice greetings card.
Yeah, it's
like a high quality greetings card.
Like a fun one.
You know, once you've just been to Waitrose and bought some food, you'll nip into Oliver Bonus and get just a lovely. You know, the greetings card. It might have some florals, but it might have something a little bit funky or cheeky on it too.
Yeah, it's very white middle class girls of a certain age popping into Oliver Bonus and buying like a floral top and then a fun mug.
It's very, for the London listeners, it's very Balham or Wimbledon.
It is very Balham. In fact, my friend Leah that calls it Oliver Banas lives in Balham.
There we are. It all comes back together. So Oliver Banas, not welcome.
Not welcome.
Not welcome.
Also, what's the US equivalent? They don't really have a chain like that, do they?
Like a lovely, it kind of,
Spencer's Gifts?
when you're in there, you're kind of fooled into thinking, oh, this is a lovely, slightly hemmed local store that doesn't exist anywhere else.
This is future Frazer. I think it's really obvious that the equivalent of that is anthropology. Duh.
Right, that's it. This has been another episode of You're Welcome America. I believe in next episode we're going to have some special guests.
We might just.
So look forward to that. And I just want to say, Frazer, that I'm thankful for you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Got it in there. And also, in the words of...
Oh, God.
Wait, I forgot her name. Anne Widdecombe? Anne Robinson. In the words...
of Anne Widdecombe.
Goodbye.
Bye.
You're so far up your ass, I think you can smell your own shit!
Where are you from, Joseph?
South Shields.
I thought.
Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
But let me be clear.
I enjoy cooking bacon and stuff, working with flour.